Picture this. It's the dead of winter. Outside, the wind howls, snow is piling up against your windows, and then without warning, click, the power's gone. No lights, no heat, no oven, no phone, just silence, darkness, and the bone-deep chill creeping into your home. At first, you tell yourself it's just a glitch. But as the minutes drag into hours, reality hits. Your fridge is useless, your furnace is dead, and your phone battery, almost gone. Every breath you take feels colder than the last. Pipes begin to freeze, food starts to spoil, and suddenly your safe, warm home is turning into a freezer you can't escape. This isn't some movie script. It's what thousands of families face every winter storm. The question is, if this happened to you tonight, how long could you last? Would you be ready? Or would you be blindsided? Because here's the truth. A winter blackout isn't just inconvenient, it's survival. Being prepared isn't about paranoia, it's about staying alive. The right mindset, the right plan, and most importantly, the right gear can mean the difference between enduring the storm or being crushed by it. So in this video, I'm going to walk you through the 10 absolute must-have prepping items to survive a winter power outage. No fluff, no guesswork, just the hard truth of what you'll need when the lights go out and the temperature plummets. Let's start with the most urgent one, food. When the grid fails, your fridge becomes a coffin for everything inside it. And unless you've stocked up on the right kind of supplies, hunger will hit you faster than the cold. That's why non-perishable food is your lifeline. Canned soups, stews, vegetables, these will keep you fed long after the storm has swallowed the neighborhood. But don't forget the most overlooked tool, a manual can opener. Because trust me, you don't want to sit in the dark, holding cans you can't open while your stomach twists with hunger. Then there are freeze-dried meals. With just a splash of water, they transform into hot, hearty dishes, pasta, rice bowls, even breakfast, that can fuel your body for days. And don't underestimate energy bars. Small, compact, and loaded with calories, they're the difference between exhaustion and alertness when your body needs quick fuel. Here's the catch though, the worst mistake you can make is waiting until the storm hits. By the time snow is falling, and the news is screaming warnings, store shelves will already be stripped bare by panicked crowds. If you're not stocked by then, it's too late. So ask yourself right now, if the power went out tonight, could you outlast the storm? Here's the hard truth, when disaster strikes, you don't get a second chance. If you wait until the storm is on your doorstep, you'll walk into the store and find nothing but empty shelves. Everyone else will have panicked first, stripping the aisles bare, while you're left with regret, and nothing to feed your family. Later doesn't come. Later doesn't matter. And in a blackout, every day you delay is one step closer to disaster. That's why non-perishable food isn't just a good idea, it's survival. It's the razor-thin line between enduring the icy grip of winter, or becoming another cautionary tale of someone who thought they'd get around to it. The storm doesn't care about your excuses. When the lights go out, it's every person for themselves. Don't get caught empty-handed. Now let's talk about something even more immediate, staying warm. When the power dies in the middle of a brutal winter, your house doesn't politely cool down, it turns into a freezer. The cold crashes in like an unstoppable force, and if you're not ready, it will strip the warmth right out of you. That's where clothing and blankets become your lifeline. Forget your stylish hoodie or thin bedding, that won't cut it. You need layers, and you need them now. Thermal underwear, thick sweaters, insulated jackets, wool socks, this is your armor. Add gloves, scarves and hats, because when your hands, feet and head lose heat, you're inviting hypothermia to the party. But clothing alone won't save you. You'll need heavy-duty blankets, wool, fleece or thermal, that trap heat even when the temperature outside is plummeting into single digits. Stockpile them like your life depends on it, because one day it might. Picture it, a snowstorm howling outside, your house colder by the hour. What's protecting your family from turning into icicles through the night? Not thin sheets, not wishful thinking. Blankets, thick, warm, life-saving blankets. And here's something most people forget, emergency sleeping bags. These aren't camping luxuries, they're survival gear. With reflective interiors that bounce back your body heat, they can keep you alive when the cold tries to steal every ounce of warmth from you. Without them, hypothermia won't wait long to set in, and by the time you realize it, it could already be too late. So ask yourself this, when the next blackout strikes, will you be bundled up in layers, wrapped in blankets, safe inside emergency gear, or will you be sitting in the dark shivering wishing you'd taken this seriously? Winter doesn't care about comfort, it only tests survival. Layers, blankets, sleeping bags, they're not extras, they're essentials. Get them now, while you still can before the storm decides for you. Because when the power's out and the cold takes over, it's already too late to start planning. Now let's get real for a moment. Imagine fumbling through your dark house during a blackout. You trip over a chair, crash into a lamp, and slice your hand open on broken glass. Normally you'd grab your phone, call for help, and get stitched up in no time. But in the middle of a winter storm with the power down, help might not come for hours, maybe days. And that small injury, it just turned into a dangerous situation. That's why a first aid kit isn't optional. It's your lifeline. But here's where most people mess up. Tossing a few band-aids and painkillers into a box doesn't cut it. In a blackout, you need a kit that's stocked and ready for the chaos. Start with the essentials: sterile gauze, medical tape, scissors, tweezers, and antibiotic ointment. Cuts and scrapes may sound minor, but without proper care, infection can turn deadly fast. Add elastic bandages and splints too, because a fall on ice or in the dark can leave you with a sprain or fracture, and in freezing conditions, that's no joke. Think about frostbite. It sets in faster than you think, so having hand warmers and thermal blankets could literally save fingers, toes, or even your life. Burns are another risk. When people get desperate, they light candles or makeshift fires. One wrong move, and you're dealing with burns in the middle of a blackout. Burn ointments. Non-negotiable. And here's one most people forget: a thermometer. Hypothermia sneaks up quietly. You don't notice it until it's too late. A simple thermometer can warn you before your body gives out. Pair that with flu meds, antihistamines, and strong painkillers, and you've got a fighting chance when sickness strikes in freezing temperatures. But listen closely, don't shove that kit into some random drawer you'll never find in the dark. Keep it accessible, and make sure everyone in your home knows exactly where it is. A first aid manual is worth its weight in gold too. Panic clouds judgment, but a guide can walk you through what to do step by step when seconds matter. The bottom line: this isn't just a box of supplies. It's armor. It buys you time. It keeps you alive until help arrives, or until you can stand on your own. Winter doesn't give second chances. Double-check your kit, expand it, learn it inside out. Because once the storm hits, it's already too late. And speaking of survival, let's move to the next essential. Picture this: a brutal snowstorm wipes out the power grid. You're huddled under every blanket you own, but the cold still seeps in. Your furnace is silent, the thermostat drops by the minute, and the walls that used to protect you now feel like an icebox closing in. Without backup heat, your survival isn't guaranteed. This isn't just about being uncomfortable. This is frostbite. This is hypothermia. This is death. A backup heat source isn't a luxury, it's a necessity. One of the most reliable options? Propane heaters. They crank out serious heat, fast. But here's the warning you can't ignore: not every propane heater is safe for indoor use. Use the wrong one in a closed space, and you won't just freeze, you'll be poisoned by carbon monoxide. You won't see it, you won't smell it, and you won't know it's there until it's too late. So if you're investing in a heater, make absolutely sure it's certified for indoor use. That single detail can mean the difference between staying warm and not waking up at all. Here's the rule: if you're using a propane heater, you must also have a battery-powered carbon monoxide detector. No exceptions. Carbon monoxide is silent, invisible, and deadly. Pair that with proper ventilation, and you've got a safe setup. Skip those steps, and you're playing Russian roulette with your life. But propane isn't the only option. A wood-burning stove can be a lifesaver in a long blackout. It's old school, yes, but nothing beats the reliability of fire. The catch? You can't just light it up with scraps when the storm hits. You need a stockpile of seasoned firewood ready to go. Think ahead, because in a blizzard, there's no such thing as finding dry wood. That's when desperation makes people burn furniture, cardboard, or anything they can get their hands on, and that's a dangerous spiral. Understand this: without a reliable heat source, you're not just uncomfortable, you're exposed. The just throw on another blanket strategy won't hold when your home drops to sub-zero temperatures. The cold will invade every corner, sapping your energy, breaking your spirit, and dragging you toward hypothermia. And no one talks enough about the mental toll. Hours of endless shivering, teeth chattering, and the hopeless feeling that the storm will never end. That's why having heat isn't only about keeping your body alive, it's about keeping your sanity intact. Whether you choose propane, a wood-burning stove, or both, the message is simple: prepare before the snow falls, stock the tools, stack the firewood, and make sure everything is safe and ready. Winter is ruthless, and it doesn't give second chances. A backup heat source is the line between surviving and becoming another statistic. Now let's move to another weapon in your survival arsenal: tools. Your tools are your armor against winter's fury. And I'm not talking about cozy fireplaces or hot cocoa. I mean real gritty survival when nature shows its teeth. Without the right gear, you're not just unprepared, you're vulnerable. Picture it, snow piling up waist deep, sealing your doors shut, your windows frosting over from the inside. No power, no heat, no help. If you don't have the right tools at arm's reach, you're in serious trouble. Let's start with the axe. If you think an axe is just for chopping wood on a camping trip, you're mistaken. In a blackout, it becomes your weapon against the cold. You'll need it to split logs for firewood, clear fallen branches blocking your path, or even hack through frozen debris. Without it, your fire dies, and so does your warmth. This isn't optional, it's survival. Next, the shovel. You might think of it as something for your driveway, but in a blackout, it's much more. Snow can trap you inside your own home, block emergency exits, or weigh down your roof to dangerous levels. A sturdy shovel isn't just convenient, it could be the only thing keeping your home standing and your family safe. Don't underestimate the shovel. In the middle of a blizzard, it's not just a tool, it's your key to freedom. When snow buries your doorways, stacks against your windows, or traps your car in the driveway, the shovel is the only thing standing between you and complete isolation. Without one, you're stuck. Simple as that. That's why you should invest in a sturdy, durable shovel. Forget flimsy plastic. It won't survive when the snow gets thick and heavy. And while you're at it, stock up on ice melt or rock salt to keep walkways and steps from turning into frozen death traps. Now let's talk about something you might laugh at: duct tape. It sounds simple, but in survival mode, duct tape becomes a miracle worker. Winter exposes every weakness in your home. Drafts whistling through a cracked window. Seal it with duct tape. A pipe bursts under freezing pressure. Wrap it up temporarily until you can fix it properly. If duct tape isn't already in your prepping stash, you're not as prepared as you think. And here's a true lifesaver: the multi-tool. You'll never understand how valuable this compact gadget is until you need it. Blades, screwdrivers, pliers, even a bottle opener. It's pocket-sized chaos control. Cutting through frozen zip ties, tightening screws, prying open cans, making quick repairs, it does it all. Keep it on you at all times, because in an emergency, seconds count, and the last thing you want is to be fumbling for tools in the dark. But even with the best tools, clothing and food, there's one brutal truth about winter blackouts you can't ignore. Without power, everything falls apart. Picture this. The storm is raging, winds howling outside, suddenly the lights vanish. Your furnace shuts down, your fridge stops humming. In minutes your home transforms into a silent freezing tomb. The temperature keeps dropping, your phone is dying, and the food in your fridge is spoiling fast. This isn't just inconvenient, it's dangerous. That's why a portable generator isn't a luxury, it's a lifeline. When the grid collapses, a generator can keep heaters running, refrigerators cold, and even critical medical devices, like CPAP machines, working when they're needed most. It's the razor-thin line between safety and catastrophe. But here's the catch. Owning a generator isn't enough. You need to prepare before the storm. That means stockpiling enough fuel to last several days, storing it safely, and knowing exactly how to operate your generator. And never run it indoors, or near windows. Carbon monoxide is a silent killer. That's why you also need detectors installed, to protect yourself and your family from this invisible gas. Fail to take these steps, and your generator could turn from a lifeline into a death trap. But with the right precautions, it becomes your shield against the storm, keeping the lights on, the food safe, and the cold at bay. Winter outages are not rare, they're common, and they're coming. The question is, when it happens, will you be ready, or will you be another statistic?